when you look at the issue of internment, it probably represents one of the single biggest human rights abuses throughout the Troubles.
It was brought in as a security measure, but it didn't work because the facts speak for themselves that post-internment there was more people killed, there was more violence.
I was interned on the 5th of May 1974. I was the mother of 2 children. When I reached Armagh prison, I was served with papers which I had to sign to consent to my children being put into care.
The intention is that on the 40th anniversary of internment next week, that 6 former internees would serve legal writs on Owen Patterson.
All of this is another play into the past, part of the unfinished business of the peace process. Yes, internment happened some decades ago, but it still lives in the memories of those who were held, and it won't go away. The events date back to the madness and turbulence of the early 70s, and almost 40 years later, stories are beginning to be told of what happened and what it meant, not just for those detained, but their families.
I had no access at all to my youngest baby, who was 9 months, with the result that when I did see her, she didn't recognise me and who had no knowledge of her mother. I did my time, and I would say that it was psychological torture.
There are also stories detailing and alleging physical torture.
They put a hood over me, and I lost track of where I was going. I didn't know where I was going, but the soldier was dropping the butt of his rifle on my head.
Put a boiler suit on me and took me to the back of camp and gave me a long tail shovel, told me to dig a hole and then get into it. I dug it. Next thing the soldiers fired shots, but they obviously were blank shots, but they're trying to scare you. And the same as Joe, they put me in a helicopter, didn't hood me or nothing, just a blindfold, and then they just threw you out.
In this community, this case, being taken by former internees, is supported by a Republican ex-prisoners project. But why now?
We've uncovered documents, internal British government documents and internal British military papers that were secret. We found these. So that's new evidence.
The story of internment in that period in the early to mid-1970s is not just about the nationalist Republican community. Over 100 men from a Protestant loyalist background were held, and a separate legal case is being developed.
It's hoped and anticipated that later this year we hope to issue proceedings for damages, for false imprisonment, unlawful detention and wrongful arrest.
The main thing is to establish that people's rights were trampled on, and those included everybody in Northern Ireland, Protestant and Catholic.
So 40 years on, the internment story and door is still open. There are questions that demand answers, questions that those who were held are going to keep asking. Brian Rowan, UTV Live.